The Irish War of Independence was not a conventional war of uniforms and battlefields. It was fought in back alleys, rolling countryside, and the minds of a people long yearning for self-rule. Guerrilla warfare and political revolution clashed, with imperial power in a bitter struggle that reshaped the destiny of Ireland. From the smoldering ruins of resistance emerged a reborn nation, but not without scars. For centuries, Ireland had been under British rule, officially unified with Great Britain in 1801 through the Act of Union. Under this union, Irish voices in Westminster were often drowned by British dominance, and native aspirations were largely ignored. The catastrophic Great Famine of the mid-19th century, which killed over 1 million and forced another million to emigrate, deepened Irish resentment. Meanwhile, the Irish Parliamentary Party pushed for Home Rule, a limited form of autonomy within the United Kingdom. Though progress was made, Unionist opposition in the North and British hesitation continually delayed reform. At the same time, a cultural revival stirred a deeper sense of national identity. Irish language, music, and history were celebrated as the soul of a forgotten nation waiting to be reclaimed. In 1916, these tensions erupted with the Easter Rising, a bold but short-lived rebellion in Dublin. Leaders like Padraig Pearse and James Connolly, armed with ideals of national self-determination, seized key locations and proclaimed an Irish Republic. The British military swiftly crushed the rebellion within a week, but it was their harsh response, executing the leaders, that changed the public mood. What had initially seemed a misguided venture now appeared as noble martyrdom, turning public sympathy toward the rebel cause and setting the stage for revolution. Following the Rising, a political shift occurred. Sinn Féin, once a minor party, surged to prominence. In the 1918 general election, they won a landslide, refusing to take seats in Westminster and instead convening their own parliament in Dublin, the first Dáil Éireann. In January 1919, this new body formally declared Ireland's independence, prompting an immediate and hostile reaction from Britain. On the very same day, Irish volunteers, now rebranded as the IRA, launched their first armed attack at Soloheadbeg, killing 2 policemen. This marked the official beginning of the war. The conflict quickly adopted the form of asymmetric warfare. The IRA, lacking numbers and heavy arms, relied on ambushes, sabotage, and surprise attacks. British forces, especially the Royal Irish Constabulary, RIC, were targeted in rural areas. Britain escalated by deploying irregular forces known as the Black and Tans and Auxiliaries, units notorious for their violence and reprisals. The war was not just a clash of weapons, but of intelligence and secrecy. Michael Collins, the director of intelligence for the IRA, organized a deadly network of spies and informants. His most infamous creation was the Squad, a unit tasked with eliminating British agents and informers in Dublin. These assassinations, often carried out in daylight, terrified British forces and made Dublin one of the most dangerous cities in Europe for intelligence officers. As the war intensified, British responses grew more brutal. In December 1920, British forces burned much of Cork City in retaliation for IRA activity. A month earlier, on November 21, known as Bloody Sunday, Collins' squad assassinated 14 British agents in one morning. That afternoon, British forces opened fire on civilians at a Gaelic football match in Croke Park, killing 14. The brutality shocked the international community and increased sympathy for the Irish cause abroad. But it also revealed the high cost of guerrilla warfare, civilian suffering, shattered communities, and a cycle of violence with no clear rules. By mid-1921, both sides were weary. The IRA was struggling with supplies and constant raids, while Britain faced mounting criticism at home and abroad. Prime Minister David Lloyd George invited Irish leaders to negotiations. Michael Collins and Arthur Griffith represented the Irish delegation, though Eamon de Valera, the nominal head of the Republic, stayed behind. After tense talks, the Anglo-Irish Treaty was signed in December 1921. It created the Irish Free State as a self-governing dominion within the British Empire, similar to Canada or Australia. However, it also accepted the partition of Ireland, allowing the 6 northern counties to remain under British control, and it required Irish parliamentarians to swear an oath of allegiance to the British monarch. The treaty caused a deep split among Irish revolutionaries. Collins saw it as a stepping stone to full independence, while de Valera and others viewed it as a betrayal of the Republic proclaimed in 1916. In a heated and emotional vote, the Dáil narrowly approved the treaty. The split was not just political, it was personal and ideological. Former comrades would soon become bitter enemies, and the seeds of civil war were sown in that fateful decision. Though the War of Independence officially ended with the signing of the treaty, its legacy would continue. The Irish Free State was born, but its arrival was overshadowed by looming civil conflict. Northern Ireland remained under British control, setting the stage for decades of tension and violence. The war left behind heroes, martyrs, and bitter memories. Michael Collins, hailed as the mastermind of the revolution, would be assassinated in 1922 during the ensuing Civil War, a tragic end to a man who had fought so hard for peace. Ireland's war for freedom was a story of determination, sacrifice, and sorrow. It wasn't clean or simple. It fractured communities and divided families. But it also gave voice to a people long silenced, and laid the foundation for an independent Irish nation. The echoes of that struggle still reverberate today, in politics, in memory, and in the identity of a people who refused to remain under foreign rule. The Irish flag now flies over a free republic, but the price of that freedom remains etched in the pages of history.